Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the podcast, and welcome to your Monday Night Raw post show, man. And there is a lot to talk about in today's episode. We hear from Obafemi as well as Jey Uso. We have the women's tag team titles on the line, where Paige and Brie Bella defended women's tag team titles against Lyra Valkyria and Bayley. We'll talk about that in today's episode as well. We also hear from Chad Gable. Chad Gable's been on this apology tour since he has been back as Chad Gable. We also got Dragon Lee in action taking on Ethan Page. We'll talk about that in today's episode as well. We also hear from the Women's King of the Ring finalist, Io Sky. We'll talk about that in today's episode as well. We also have LA Knight in action taking on Jimmy Uso. And we also have the World Tag Team titles on the line between The Vision taking on the Street Profits for the World Tag Team titles. And we'll talk about that as well in today's episode, man. But before I even give you guys a full breakdown of this show, which, by the way, was absolutely fucking boring, I want to talk about this King of the Ring shit before I break down the full show for y'all and give you guys my insight on the King of the Ring, my thoughts on it, and who I honestly genuinely believe that's going to walk out in Saudi Arabia at Night of Champions as King of the Ring. So we do start the night with Obafemi. Obafemi comes out to the ring. You know, obviously everybody's anticipating to hear from Oba going into the night, Night of Champions King of the Ring finals, taking on Jey Uso, which again we did hear from Obafemi and Jey Uso, which we'll talk about here in a little bit. My issues with this King of the Ring tournament, I stated this even last week, man, that you would assume with the way that this King of the Ring tournament has come to fruition and how the finals have finally shaped up between Obafemi and Jey Uso, you would assume with the hot streak that Obafemi has been on that it's easily to assume that Obafemi is going to walk out at Night of Champions in Saudi Arabia as the new King of the Ring. I'm going to tell you all right now, man, I have little to almost no confidence in Obafemi walking out as the new King of the Ring this year and walking out at Night of Champions as the King of the Ring. Based upon everything that we have been seeing for the past couple weeks, and we're talking weeks after Night of Champions, we have heard Obafemi multiple weeks now mention the likes of the Beast Brock Lesnar, saying, Brock Lesnar's not a man. He questions Brock Lesnar's manhood. He also said that he wants to put Brock Lesnar's head on a stake as a trophy, and has mentioned Brock Lesnar now for multiple weeks after the ass whooping that Obafemi took from Brock Lesnar, receiving multiple F5s at Clash in Italy. We've yet to see the likes of Brock Lesnar. We have not seen Lesnar since Clash in Italy, when he beat the holy piss out of Obafemi. We have not seen the likes of Lesnar at all. No vignettes, nothing shown on the Titantron, nothing of Lesnar being backstage, nothing of Lesnar attacking Obafemi from behind. We have not seen Lesnar since Clash in Italy, knowing that we've seen now Obafemi multiple weeks on Monday Night Raw mentioning the likes of Brock Lesnar. And Brock Lesnar has now been a no-show. Now, a lot of people, myself included, if Brock was going to show up and cost Obafemi the King of the Ring tournament, it would have been in Baltimore, which I believe was last week on Monday Night Raw, which did not happen, where Obafemi mentioned Brock Lesnar. And then we get to tonight. We get to Monday Night Raw live from London in the O2 Arena. And guess what? No signs of Brock Lesnar. No signs of Brock Lesnar, no signs of Paul Heyman, absolutely nothing. My issue with this, bro, is right now, the way things are starting to play out, as far as the finals and the winner of the King of the Ring tournament, this could go down as one of Triple H's worst creative ideas of all time. Now, I know that there is a lot of Jey Uso fans out there. I get it. Look, man, I'll be the first and foremost to tell you guys, when Jey Uso won the Rumble and went after the World Heavyweight title and beat Gunther for the World Heavyweight title, I praised Jey. I said Jey had worked his ass off to get this opportunity. He busted his ass to get these opportunities, and Jey Uso deserves it. Now, was the title reign that Jey Uso had was extravagant? No, it wasn't. I felt as if it was lackluster, and I was already done with the title reign before it even got started. Because I knew the direction they were going with Jey Uso. The whole YEET era, the whole, I was done with it. I'm done with it now. I'm done with the YEET era. I'm done with the YEET shit. I'm done with the, okay, we're going to play the entrance music, have them come out to the ring, and then we're going to run it back. There's been multiple superstars now, from LA Knight to now Obafemi, and says, hey, we got a problem with you running this shit back. Which I don't fucking blame them, because at the end of the day, it takes Jey Uso forever in a fucking lifetime to get to the fucking ring, and then you don't say a goddamn word, and then you drop the microphone, and then you want to run it back for another 2-3 minutes. It's a fucking joke. The other reason why I know this is creatively a mistake is because everybody that I've talked to, and everybody in the wrestling community that are genuine fans and not genuine ass kissers of the WWE, know that this decision to crown Jey Uso the King of the Ring is a huge fucking mistake. Huge mistake. Now, I have also gone to the forefront. I said this last week. Look, do I agree with Jey Uso winning the King of the Ring tournament? Absolutely fucking not. The only thing that I would like about if Jey Uso won the King of the Ring tournament is if, rather him challenging Cody Rhodes for the WWE title, Jey Uso would flip the script and challenge Roman Reigns for the World Heavyweight title at SummerSlam. Now, is that screaming SummerSlam main event? Absolutely not. But is there a story within that between Jey Uso and Roman Reigns? Absolutely. I don't need to see Jey Uso win the King of the Ring tournament and challenge Cody Rhodes because Roman Reigns said so. This whole bloodline shit, bro, that they're trying to run back is a fucking joke. I'm sorry. It's an absolute joke. They're trying to run back shit that happened years ago and trying to relive the bloodline. I mean, hell, bro, we even had Solo Sikoa show up tonight and hit a Samoan spike on Jimmy Uso, costing Jimmy Uso his match against LA Knight, which we will talk about in today's episode. Now, where's this leave Solo? Solo's on his own. Solo's with the MFTs. He's got his own family now. So are we running it back at Survivor Series in November and have a inner turmoil bloodline war between Solo and the MFTs taking on Roman Reigns and his bloodline? You can miss me with that shit, bro. We've already been there, fucking done that. It's a done deal. I don't want to see it again. And the thing of it is, bro, you're going to have people out here that are going to praise WWE and literally kiss the ass of Nick Khan and Triple H. Oh, WWE's doing great. Oh, they're doing this, they're doing that. Bro, WWE has become a corporate joke. A wrestling joke. This is a corporate company, bro. This WWE is no longer about the wrestling. I mean, you can see it clear as day, bro. How many celebrities that we see in the audience? I mean, Christ, bro, on Monday Night Raw even tonight, you're seeing boxers that are now signed to Zuffa Boxing. You have that. You have celebrities in the crowd. You have UFC fighters like Michael Page in the audience. You have comedians. Hell, last week on Monday Night Raw, we had a comedian get his ass whipped by Jacob Fatu. We get it, bro. It's a corporate gig for WWE. It always has been. It always will be. But it's just progressively getting fucking worse. I'm sorry. And it's across the board, man. WWE, AEW, hell, even TNA. Creatively, pro wrestling in the States has been the drizzling shits for the past 2 fucking years. Let's just keep it a buck, man. AEW can't tell a fucking story to save their life. TNA, I mean, hell, bro, you got more talent leaving than wanting to fucking stay in TNA. TNA right now is in the goddamn dumpster. I know, oh, yeah, and look, I respect the hell out of Amazing Red. I think Amazing Red is an incredible talent. I've seen Amazing Red wrestle. He's an incredible talent, and he's still wrestling his ass off to this day. Incredible talent. I know a lot of people are saying, well, Red's coming back to TNA. It's been over, 15 years. Look, that's great. And it's great for Amazing Red to finally get, people to actually watch an Amazing Red match that we don't really get to see on national television because Amazing Red is working with House of Glory. And by the way, House of Glory is an incredible independent wrestling company. And Amazing Red has had banger matches with House of Glory. So to see Amazing Red in TNA, it's great. But with all due respect to Red, you can't expect this guy to come back and be TNA's saving grace. I'm sorry. It's not going to happen. And you're going to have TNA talent that's going to go to bat for TNA, and rightfully so. They work for him. You know what I mean? Matt Hardy also defended TNA recently. But with all due respect to Matt Hardy, I mean, TNA is not what it once was. Let's just keep it a buck. It's not. TNA is falling flat on its ass. You have an abundance of talent leaving. Hell, Tessa Blanchard just left TNA out of a 3-year deal. 3-year deal. Gone. And is now in CMLL most likely. 3-year deal. Sami Callihan just left. Tommy Dreamer, pretty much the head of creative and, the main booker for TNA, is gone. Now they're thinking about bringing in Brian James. Road Dogg. Because I believe they have, Slammiversary coming up, if I'm not mistaken? And they want to bring in Road Dogg. And it's been speculated for weeks that Road Dogg is going to come into TNA and be the head booker and head writer for TNA. Great. But where's the fucking talent? You got talent begging to walk out the fucking door. Because Carlos Silva doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. AEW, Tony Khan. Yeah, you got the talent. You got the money. You got the funding. We all know that. We're all well aware of that. But you can't write a story to save y'all's fucking lives. And then you look at Monday Night Raw and SmackDown and WWE just in general, bro. There is no fucking storytelling alone that is captivating enough to get the fans invested into WWE. Monday Night Raw, and especially SmackDown, have been a bore fest. Especially SmackDown, bro. SmackDown has been the drizzling shits now for a while. It's the most nauseating 3 hours of pro wrestling I've ever seen. It's fucking boring. There's no interest, there's no intrigue, and especially, my thing is this, bro, you have to have story, considering the fact that at the end of the day, these shows are weekly episodic television shows. It's like watching The Simpsons with no fucking story. It's like watching one of your favorite shows. Hell, it could be Stranger Things for all intents and purposes, with no fucking story. No intrigue, no excitement. You know what I mean? Nothing. Just a bland show. That's literally what all this shit is, bro. There's no storytelling, there's no captivating shit to get the fans invested into these goddamn wrestling shows because they can't write fucking story. And then we get to this Obafemi and Jey Uso shit, bro, and this shit is a fucking dumpster fire. I'm sorry. I'm done with the Jey Uso and the YEET era and all that bullshit, bro. I am done with that bullshit. I'm done with it. I'm sorry. If you're a Jey Uso fan, I don't know what to tell you, man. Go somewhere else. This ain't the podcast for you. And I respect the hell out of Jey. And I told you guys, I praised Jey when he won the Rumble, when he won the Intercontinental title, and he beat Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship. I praised Jey. I said, you know what? Jey worked his ass off to get this opportunity. But just because he worked his ass off at that time to earn that opportunity, which he did, he ain't done shit as of late to get himself this opportunity. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And I feel as if now with this King of the Ring shit, WWE backed themselves into a fucking corner. Big time. I don't need to see Jey win the King of the Ring tournament, bro. I just don't. I don't. It's a fucking joke, folks. And I try to find my best to kind of, reevaluate the situation with the current landscape in the King of the Ring tournament, bro. I can't. You have Obafemi now for the past couple of weeks mentioning Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar has been a no-show. We have not seen Lesnar since Clash in Italy, when he beat the holy piss out of Obafemi. But for the past few weeks, Obafemi has mentioned Brock Lesnar. Lesnar's been a no-show. So like I told you guys last week, more than likely, Lesnar is going to show up at Night of Champions and cost Obafemi the King of the Ring tournament. And here's the other reason why I know this is most likely going to happen. So, spoilers, just to let you guys know. I don't know if you guys caught the clip on tonight's Monday Night Raw, but it was announced that both men and the women's King of the Ring tournament matches, the finals for both the men and the women, are kicking off Night of Champions, which will be free for 1 hour on ESPN. So the two matches that everybody's anticipating, and the reason why we're getting to Night of Champions, you're putting those two matches for free on ESPN. This is the reason why I know Lesnar's going to show up, because the matches are first in line. They start the show. Brock Lesnar's going to show up for 3 minutes, beat the shit out of Obafemi, and cost Obafemi the King of the Ring tournament, and then Oba's going to fly out of Saudi and go back to hell home. He ain't going to stay there till the end of the night. No, he's going to beat the shit out of Obafemi and get on a private jet and see the hell later. That's going to happen. And first and foremost, I think it's an absolute fucking mistake to have these two anticipated matches, the King of the Ring finals, for respectively both for the men and the women, to kick off the Night of Champions pay-per-view in Saudi. That's a bunch of bullshit. Considering that you have other matches on there, and I'm not trying to discredit the matches on there, but you could have Trick Williams defending his belt on the kickoff, the first hour on ESPN. I don't know why that needs to be on the main card. You could have him kick off the show with the first hour of ESPN. You got Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker in a steel cage. If you want to have a highly anticipated matchup, put that on the first hour. The entire concept of the Night of Champions, in my mind, is set on the men's and women's King of the Ring finals. Why are we having the most two important matches kicking off the show for free on ESPN? I'll tell you why. Because Brock Lesnar is showing up at Night of Champions. And Brock Lesnar is going to cost Obafemi the King of the Ring tournament. Brock's not going in there and staying until the main event and beat the shit out of Obafemi. No, he's going to be there in the first kickoff of the night because his ass doesn't want to stay there all goddamn night. He's going to beat the shit out of Obafemi and he's going to get a private jet and get the hell out of Saudi Arabia. This is going to be a problem. This is going to be a huge problem in the wrestling community when Jay walks out as the King of the Ring. I'm telling you guys that shit right now. It's going to be a huge fucking problem because nobody wants to see this shit. Nobody. Nobody wants to see it, bro. And maybe it's just me, but at the end of the day, I'm done with it. I'm absolutely fucking done with it. There's no way for me as a fan to sit here and justify this as a good idea for WWE as Jey Uso winning the King of the Ring tournament. I can't justify it. I can give a rat's ass about Jey Uso becoming King of the Ring. Not for nothing, the whole YEET shit, the running it back with the entrance music and shit, and just the way that Jay, I don't know, bro, just the way sometimes that he, the way he does shit sometimes, it irks the shit out of me. And I feel like sometimes, I don't know, man. I just feel like the whole YEET era and that whole shit has run its course. And to be honest, at the end of it, for me as a fan, personally, this shit's cringy. I'm sorry. It's fucking cringy. The man can't even do a promo correctly without even looking in the camera. LA Knight cut that promo on the Usos backstage, and Jey Uso had to look away because he was going to bust out laughing when LA Knight was talking about dancing with the Ulafala. Promo skills, Jey Uso don't have it. I'm sorry. I hate to break it to you, but he ain't got it. I'm done with the Jey Uso shit, man. I'm done with it. I'm absolutely fucking done with it. And I'm tired of sitting here trying to sugarcoat shit, which I don't do, to try to justify this as a good idea. This shit is fucking awful. This is horrible. Absolutely horrible. And this is going to go down as one of the worst creative decisions in Triple H's history. I'm sorry. It's a fucking joke. It's an absolute joke. No one needs to see it. No one gives a shit. As far as I'm concerned, like I said, the fact that you have this kicking off the show, the reason why Night of Champions is so important is because the King of the Ring finals, and you have both the men's and the women's King of the Ring finals kicking off the show at Night of Champions, and it being free for 1 hour for ESPN is an absolute fucking joke. It's a joke. Like I said, Trick Williams has a match where he's defending the U.S. title. You can also put Tiffany Stratton versus Jade Cargill for the women's U.S. title for free for the first hour on ESPN. Because I can tell you right now, no one gives a rat's ass about Stratton and Cargill. Honestly. It doesn't even deserve to be on the main card. I'm sorry. Jade Cargill can't wrestle. She can't. I'm sorry. If you're a Cargill fan, I don't know what to tell you, bro. She should have went to NXT and not get called up right to the main roster. I'm sorry. There's an abundance of other wrestlers right now, even in NXT, currently, that can out-wrestle Jade Cargill by a fucking landslide. I'm sorry. I'm done with that bullshit, too. I'm done with it. I'm done with it. Absolutely fucking done with it. So that's why I know that Lesnar is going to show up at Night of Champions, because the King of the Ring finals are kicking off the show. Brock's not fucking waiting all night. He's going to be there in the first part of the show, and he's going to destroy Obafemi, cost Obafemi the King of the Ring tournament, and Jey Uso is going to be crowned your new King of the Ring. And I can't wait for the backlash with this. I cannot wait for the backlash for this shit. Because Jay, in the promo that he had back and forth with Oba tonight, made it abundantly clear that he's going after Cody Rhodes for the WWE title. Why? Because Roman said so. Like I said, If Jay wins the King of the Ring tournament, the only thing that's going to make me happy as a fan is if Jay flips the script and he challenges Roman Reigns for the World Heavyweight title. And people can say, well, why would he do that? What's the purpose of doing that? There's story within that in itself, between the Usos and Roman Reigns, due to Jacob Fatu. Jay has his disagreements with Fatu. Jay doesn't like how Roman's running the show right now. Jay feels as if the Usos are playing back fiddle right now to Roman and Jacob Fatu. Jay Uso steps up. Roman already announced that Fatu was the number 2 guy in line. That used to be Jay Uso. Now that's no more. Jay Uso feels, disrespected by Roman. He wants to prove his worth. He wants to prove that he is Roman's right-hand man. And how does he do that? Well, you challenge the tribal chief to prove to him that you are his right-hand man. And challenge Roman for the World Heavyweight title at SummerSlam. That's the only way, with Jay winning the King of the Ring tournament for me personally, that I'd be happy with. But if Jay's going to win the King of the Ring tournament, he's going to challenge Cody Rhodes for the WWE title, you can miss me with that bullshit. You can miss me with that. I think it's a fucking joke. An absolute joke. It's going to be very telling to see what happens at Night of Champions, but I'm going to tell you all right now, do not be shocked if Jay Uso walks out as the new King of the Ring. So moving on from that, man, let's get into the show, man. Let's break down this show, which I thought was absolutely fucking boring, but let's break down this show, man. We start off the night with Obafemi. Obafemi comes out to the ring, grabs a microphone, says as much as he would love the crowd to chant his name all night, the crowd starts chanting Oba. Oba then talks about Destiny and how Destiny led him to the WWE and how Destiny helped him in the King of the Ring tournament. Oba says that Destiny will help him become the King of the Ring. Oba says once he's King of the Ring, what should he do next? Should he go after the WWE title or go after the World Heavyweight title? After that, Obafemi is interrupted by Jay Uso. Jay Uso enters the ring, crowd's chanting to run it back. Oba then grabs the microphone and says if Jay thinks about running it back, he's going to pay for it. He's going to put an end to it right now. Jay then runs it back. Jay then grabs the microphone and says, what, are you going to count me out? Jay says they counted him out when he won the Rumble. They also counted him out when he won the World Heavyweight title. Jay says he's going to shock the world and silence the haters. After Saturday, Jay says he's going to go off to SummerSlam and face Cody Rhodes for the WWE title. Jay says that this was your warning shot to Oba. Oba then tells Jay, when he shoots, don't miss. Because if you do, I will destroy you. Oba says that Jay is not the family member that he's worried about. And then Oba tells Jay, save your bullets for your cousin. Looks like Obafemi has his sights set on the World Heavyweight Champion, Roman Reigns. Moving on from that, we go into our next match of the night. It is for the women's tag team titles. It is Paige and Brie Bella defending the women's tag team titles against Lyra Valkyria and Bayley. Now, I thought this was a decent match. It was a back-and-forth matchup between both teams with Lyra quickly hitting an enziguri. Lyra and Bayley were trying to keep the pace of the match, but Brie Bella hits a code breaker in the middle of the ring. Brie then hits multiple yes kicks on Bayley in the middle of the ring. Bayley then gets up, hits a Bayley to belly on Brie in the middle of the ring. Paige then hits multiple German suplexes on Lyra and Bayley. Lyra then gets up, hits a Nightwing on Paige, followed by a Fisherman Buster. But Paige then hits a Rampage in the middle of the ring, pins for the 3, and your winners of the match, and still WWE Women's Tag Team Champions, are Paige and Brie Bella. After the match, Bayley then checks on Lyra, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Lyra attacks Bayley. Lyra's frustrated, she's pissed off with Bayley, and she ends up hitting a Nightwing on Bayley, leaving Bayley helpless in the middle of the ring. Some interesting stuff there between Lyra Valkyria and Bayley. Moving on from that, we hear from Chad Gable. Chad Gable comes out to the ring. He's been on this apology tour now for the past couple of weeks, ever since he lost his mask in Mexico. Gable comes out to the ring, grabs a microphone. He talks about the energy that he's gotten from the crowd. Crowd starts chanting Gable. Gable talks about losing his mask in Mexico. Gable says he lost his self-respect and has lost some friends along the way. Gable then calls out Otis, Tozawa, and Maxine. After that, the Alpha Academy are here. Gable then thanks the Alpha Academy for coming out. Gable then hypes up the Alpha Academy. He also says that the way he treated Maxine was horrible and that it was his fault. Gable says that he held Tozawa back as well and he didn't deserve it. Fans then start chanting Otis. Gable says that Otis is the most loyal friend anyone could ever have in this world. Gable says him and Otis have been friends for 20 years, and he misses him. Gable then talks about the history that he's had with Otis. He even said that Otis at one time held his kids when they were born. So clearly there is some history there between Gable and Otis. Gable says that Alpha Academy doesn't owe him a damn thing. Gable then tells Alpha Academy that he's sorry. Otis then goes to shake Gable's hands, but Maxine stopped Otis. Maxine says everything about Gable is a lie. Maxine then was trying to warn Alpha Academy about Gable, and Maxine then tells Gable, I don't trust you. Maxine says that Gable left them high and dry in a time when they needed him. Maxine says when she accomplished her goal, she realized one thing. They didn't need Gable then, and we don't need Gable now. Some interesting stuff there between Alpha Academy and Chad Gable. Moving on from that, we go into our next match of the night. It's Ethan Page taking on Dragon Lee. I thought this was actually a decent match. It was a back-and-forth match between Ethan Page and Lee, with Lee quickly hitting a Hurricane Rana on Ethan Page. Lee trying to keep the pace of the match, but Page hits a big boot, sending Lee out of the ring. Lee then gets up, hits a release German suplex, followed by a super kick on Ethan Page. Dragon Lee then hits a DDT on Page for a near fall in the middle of the ring, but Page gets up, tries to get some offense in by hitting a big boot, taking out Lee for a near fall. Lee then gets up, hits a stomp for a near fall, followed by a jumping knee on the apron. Lee then hits a tope to the outside, but Dragon Lee flies over Ethan Page and over the announce table on the outside. Page then capitalizes on this by hitting a headbutt on Dragon Lee into a low blow. Page then hits an egoplex on Dragon Lee, pins for the 3, and your winner of the match is Ethan Page. Hats off to Ethan Page for getting the win in this matchup. Moving on from that, we hear from the Women's King of the Ring finalist, Io Sky. Io Sky comes out to the ring. I believe she is greeted by Jackie Redmond. Io says that she's extremely grateful for getting this far in the tournament. Io said that she's going to beat Liv Morgan to become Queen of the Ring. After that, Io Sky is interrupted by Liv Morgan. Liv grabs a microphone. Liv says that she is the greatest women's world champion of all time. She even says that she's better than Io Sky. Liv says the only thing that is missing is her crown. Liv says that she's going to embarrass Rhea Ripley once again and take her title. After that, Io then mocks Liv. Liv then attacks Io Sky, but Io fights back, and Liv leaves the ring. Some interesting stuff there between Liv Morgan and Io Sky. Moving on from that, we go into our next match of the night. This match was made earlier tonight. It is LA Knight taking on Big Jim, Jimmy Uso. I thought it was a decent match. It was a back-and-forth matchup between LA Knight and Jimmy Uso, with Jimmy and LA Knight both exchanging in the middle of the ring. Jimmy Uso was trying to keep the pace of the match, with Jimmy hitting a whisper in the wind off the top rope, landing on LA Knight for a near fall. Jimmy Uso then hits an enziguri, sending LA Knight off the apron to the outside, but Knight hits a DDT on Jimmy Uso. Jimmy gets up, hits a Samoan drop on LA Knight in the middle of the ring for a near fall, followed by an enziguri. LA Knight gets up, hits a power slam on Jimmy, followed by an elbow drop for a near fall. Jimmy Uso then hits a super kick for a near fall. Then, out of nowhere, the crowd starts looking around, and we spot Solo Sikoa. Solo Sikoa then jumps over the barricade. He jumps on the ring apron. Jimmy was in the corner. Solo then hits a Samoan spike on Jimmy Uso. LA Knight was in another corner, looking confused, wondering what the hell was going on. LA Knight capitalizes on this by hitting a BFT, a blunt force trauma, on Jimmy Uso in the middle of the ring, pins for the 3, and your winner of the match is LA Knight. Hats off to LA Knight for getting the win in this matchup. Moving on from that, we go into our next match of the night. It is the main event of Monday Night Raw. It is the Vision defending the World Tag Team titles against the Street Profits, Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins. I thought it was a decent match. It was a back-and-forth matchup between both teams, with the Vision keeping the pace of the match. Logan Paul gets involved in the matchup. The referee ends up spotting Logan Paul and throws Logan Paul out of the match. Braun then hits a lariat off the apron, sending Dawkins over the announce table on the outside. Ford then hits a standing moonsault in the middle of the ring for a near fall. Breaker then hits a power slam. Breaker and Theory then land a bulldog, taking a page out of the Steiner's playbook. Logan Paul is back with brass knuckles. He tries to help Austin Theory. Joe Hendry's music hits. Joe Hendry is here. He is standing on the apron. And then Hendry spots Logan Paul and chases Logan Paul off. Theory then finds the brass knuckles left by Logan Paul in the middle of the ring. But out of nowhere, Rollins' music hits. And Breakker, who was ringside, was looking around trying to find Seth Rollins. But Rollins then jumps over the barricade. He runs through the crowd. Rollins then grabs the brass knuckles from Theory and hits Theory in the face. Breakker then chases after Rollins. This allowed Montez Ford to capitalize on the punch from Rollins to Austin Theory. Ford then hits a frog splash off the top rope, landing on Austin Theory, pins for the 3, and your winner of the match and new, or winners of the match and new World Tag Team Champions are the Street Profits. Hats off to the Street Profits for getting the win in this matchup. Couple of things I want to talk about with you guys, man, before I get the hell up out of here as far as Monday Night Raw is concerned. Was it a good show? Hell no. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I think anybody telling you that this was a good show, I don't think they're wrestling fans, man. I really don't. Monday Night Raw tonight was honestly boring. I'm not going to sit here and go on a limb and say it was worse as Friday Night SmackDown, man, but I mean, dude, this shit, I don't know, man. I really don't. I genuinely, I started off the show, in a little bit of a rant. And my mindset with that is the same. The King of the Ring, it's all over the place. On one side of the fence, you got Obafemi. Everybody's trying to wonder, when the hell we're going to see Brock Lesnar. We haven't seen Lesnar in weeks since Clash in Italy. No one that Obafemi has mentioned Brock Lesnar. No signs of Lesnar. And now, WWE might make one of the worst creative decisions of all time and crowning Jey Uso the King of the Ring. And I know some people are like, man, you're really hating on Jey Uso, man. At one time you praised Jey Uso. What's the difference from then till now? The difference now with Jey than what it once was is I believed in Jey at one time. I really did. When Jey was on his own and he was main event Jey Uso, he wasn't walking around with Roman. He wasn't walking around with Jimmy. Jey Uso was his own man. He was doing his own thing. And now, seemingly, they reunited the bloodline with the Usos and Roman, and now the addition of Jacob Fatu, now that he has his own Ulafala. It's a rinse and fucking repeat, number one. Number two, look, man, I know some people are a fan of the whole YEET shit and the whole, okay, well, I'm going to play my theme music and I'm going to run it back. Bro, that shit has ran its course. That well has run dry, bro. It's run dry. At this point, you're trying to get blood from a fucking stone. I can give a rat's ass about that theme music. Honestly. Oh, man, you're kind of hating on Jey Uso. No, bro, I'm not. If anything, I said it from the longest time that I wish Jimmy Uso got more of a main event push than Jey has. I do. I don't think Jimmy or Jey or Bloodline would be where they're at without the likes of Jimmy Uso, to be honest with you. You had Fatu in the main event scene, in the main event spot. He wrestled Roman Reigns multiple goddamn times, whether it was at Backlash or at Clash in Italy, when he kept telling Roman, hey, I'm going to dog walk your ass. Well, you ain't dog walking shit, bud. Roman boot stomped your ass twice. Once in Tampa in Backlash, and once in Italy in Clash in Italy. You ain't dog walking shit. All you're doing now is being Roman's lapdog. What he says goes. And that's literally what it is. You ain't dog walking a goddamn thing. And now you have Jey, which, I mean, if they did it correctly with Jey, and knowing the hostility that Jey Uso has with Fatu, and knowing the fact that at least on TV for me, it seems as if the Usos are at a standstill with Roman. They don't know what the hell's going on with Roman. They don't know the plans with Roman. Shit's going on behind closed door between Roman and Jacob Fatu. Roman sending Fatu over to SmackDown to talk to Solo. The Usos are trying to figure out what the hell's going on. And then we see Solo Sikoa tonight attack Jimmy Uso and costing Jimmy his match against LA Knight. So clearly the Usos have no idea what the fuck's going on. So to me, if I was building a fucking story correctly, I would flip the script, to be honest with you. Rather than having Jey win the King of the Ring tournament and challenge Cody, I would have Jey Uso, he was going to win the King of the Ring tournament, flip the script and challenge Roman. Because he's pissed off with Roman. He don't like the direction of where the bloodline's going. He don't like the interaction that he's having with Jacob Fatu. He feels as if Fatu now is Roman's right-hand man, where at one time Jey was Roman's right-hand man, and now Jacob's taken over. Maybe Jey feels some kind of way about it, like, hey, Man, I've been here since day one. This guy, Jacob just came into the fold, man. I've been here since day one, literally. Busting my ass, helping you out, making you into the tribal chief, sacrificing everything to help you and helping the family. Now you want to toss me to the side like I'm yesterday's trash because Jacob Fatu's here now. That's a storyline, folks. Little family turmoil here between Jay and Roman. And have Jay challenge Roman at SummerSlam for the World Heavyweight title. I know it doesn't scream main event for SummerSlam, but hell, bro, at least it's a fucking story. At least it's something. What does Jay have anything to do with Cody? Hell, the last time we seen Jay and Cody together, they were the best of buds. Now you want to run it back with Jay and Cody because Roman told you so? Why? Because Cody and Roman had an interaction backstage at Clash in Italy? And now, because of that, Roman's like, you know what? Cody's my light work now. Even though Cody whooped that ass at WrestleMania 40, that's Roman's light work now. And now he's going to send, his stooge, Jay, after Cody Rhodes? Send Jay after Roman's light work with Cody Rhodes at SummerSlam? Come on, bro. Come on. Come on, man. And the problem is that, I hate saying this, but Brock Lesnar throws a curveball and a huge wrench into all this shit. Because now for the past couple weeks, whether it was in Baltimore, Maryland last week, or whether it was tonight in the O2 Arena in London, everybody had this anticipation that, hey, man, we might actually see Brock Lesnar tonight. Brock would have cost, Oba his match against Dominic Mysterio and took Oba out of the King of the Ring tournament last week. That shit didn't happen. Then we get to London at the O2 Arena tonight. Once again, no sign of Lesnar. Lesnar could have beat the holy piss out of Oba Femi tonight and made it to a point where, okay, Oba is unfortunately not medically cleared to compete, and he's out of the tournament. That leaves some intrigue. Okay, well, shit, now Oba Femi's out of the tournament. We know the match between Oba and Lesnar is going to happen at SummerSlam, but Jay doesn't have an opponent for the finals in the King of the Ring tournament. Okay, well, either you bring somebody back, not Oba, in the King of the Ring tournament and have them challenge Jay, or you find a suitable replacement, a return. Maybe it's Randy Orton. Maybe it's CM Punk. And CM Punk beats Jay. And then we have CM Punk challenging Cody Rhodes for the WWE title at SummerSlam. Because that's a SummerSlam main event, if you ask me. I feel as if they backed themselves into a huge fucking corner with this King of the Ring tournament. Genuinely. I think it's a problem. I think it's a lose-lose situation. Because there's some people out there that want Oba Femi to move on to the King of the Ring tournament and win it and challenge Roman Reigns at SummerSlam for the World Heavyweight title. There's a lot of people, hoping that Oba Femi wins the King of the Ring tournament. I have no confidence in that whatsoever, due to one person and one person only, and that's Brock Lesnar. And knowing that the King of the Ring, I can't stress that enough, and how much of a dumbass decision that was made. Whoever made that decision is a dumbass to put the King of the Ring finals for both the men and the women in the kickoff show of Night of Champions within the first hour, being free on ESPN. Whoever made that fucking decision is a dumbass and should be fucking fired. Come on, bro. Look, I'm not trying to disrespect Trick Williams or Stratton or anything else like that, but you have the men's and women's U.S. title on the line at Night of Champions. You can't put those two dumbass matches in the kickoff show to start Night of Champions, being the fact that it's Night of Champions. Come on, man. Come on, bro. Like, what the fuck are we doing here? Honestly. Hell, the show is called Night of Champions. How many champions are actually championships are being defended on this card? What, 3? You got, U.S. title for the men's, U.S. title for the women's, and then you got Cody Rhodes defending the WWE title against Gunther and Sami Zayn. Come on, man. The main reason why everybody's anticipating Night of Champions solely is because of the King of the Ring finals. They want to see Oba Femi walk out as the King of the Ring. Or Jay walk out as the King of the Ring. They want to see Io Sky beat Liv Morgan and become Queen of the Ring. Or Liv beat Io and become Queen of the Ring. That's the anticipation. Those are the two most highly anticipated matches going in the King of the Ring, into Night of Champions. And you're starting off the show with that? That right there alone just told me that there is no way in hell Brock Lesnar's not showing up to kick off Night of Champions and cost Oba Femi the King of the Ring tournament. Lesnar ain't showing up nowhere and wait until the main event. I can tell you that shit right now. He's going to show up there, beat the shit out of Oba Femi within 3 minutes, and then Brock's going to go on his private jet and get the hell out of Saudi Arabia. That's what the fucking game plan is here, folks. I'm telling you right now, and honestly, not seeing Lesnar tonight in London at the O2 Arena almost damn near solidified the fact that Lesnar is going to show up in Saudi and cost Obafemi the King of the Ring tournament. It almost damn near solidified it. This guy has been calling Brock Lesnar out for fucking weeks since Oba got his ass kicked by Brock Lesnar in Clash in Italy. Oba's been calling Lesnar out, and we've yet to see Brock Lesnar. He's a no-show. Oba's, challenging Brock Lesnar's manhood, all this other shit. I'm going to put Brock Lesnar's head on a stake and collect it as a trophy. All this shit that Obafemi's saying, meanwhile Brock Lesnar is just waiting in the distance. Waiting in the distance, waiting for his time to strike. You think he ain't going to show up at Clash in Italy and cost Obafemi everything? Come on, bro. Come on. All it's going to do is prolong the storyline between Brock and Oba going into SummerSlam. That's exactly what the case is going to... I'm telling you, bro. Jey Uso, do not be shocked if he walks out King of the Ring. And honestly, it will go down as probably the worst creative decision in Triple H's career in WWE as a head booker and head writer. Hands down. Because nobody wants to see this shit no more, bro. We are fucking done with the YEET era shit. We're done with it. We're absolutely... Hell, bro, and maybe it's just me. And I'll die on that hill by myself, bro. But I am done with the whole YEET bullshit. I'm going to run it back, this, that, and the third. Bro, I'm done with it. And not for nothing, man. I'm done with this LA Knight shit, too, with the bloodline. That shit is run its fucking course. How many... Dude, honestly, man. Besides the last time we saw LA Knight in another storyline... When was the last time? The last time we saw LA Knight involved with anything besides the bloodline, as far as I remember, is the storyline that he had with the Vision. When Bronson Reed beat the holy shit out of LA Knight and hit that tsunami slam or splash onto LA Knight on top of that damn car in the backstage area with Logan Paul. Every single thing that I've seen LA Knight attached to damn near has attachment to the goddamn bloodline. Whether it's Jimmy, whether it's Jay, whether it's Roman, whether it's Jacob Fatu, whether it's Solo Sikoa, this guy is like a goddamn leech when it comes to the goddamn bloodline. You see bloodline, and guess who comes crawling out of nowhere? Fucking LA Knight. He is attached at the fucking hip with the bloodline, bro, and it's fucking nauseating as all hell. They don't have a plan with this guy, bro. Yo, he beat Jimmy Uso. Big fucking deal. What the fuck has Jimmy Uso been doing for the past couple weeks, bro? Not wrestling. Seriously, man. Oh, he beat Jim. Yeah, with the help of Solo Sikoa. So what, is Solo Sikoa going to recruit LA Knight to help him out at the Survivor Series in November to take on the bloodline because LA Knight has this vengeance and this overall just vengeance and beef with the bloodline, with the Usos and Roman and Jacob Fatu? Give me a fucking break, man. Give me a fucking break. No one gives a shit. And I'm sorry, but the whole hype train around LA Knight, bro, it's run its course, man. That train is parked and stationed, and that bitch ain't coming out the goddamn port. I'm sorry. I'm tired of it, man. I'm absolutely fucking tired of it. I'm done with it. And I try my best not to go on some rant, man, but I can't, bro. I can't. What you see here is what is no bullshit. Call it like I see it. You don't like it? Go somewhere else, man. You want somebody who's real and genuine? This is the place to be. Someone's going to call somebody out on their bullshit? I'm that guy. LA Knight's not the guy, bro. LA Knight, and it's a shame. Because at one time, I had all the faith in the world for LA Knight. I thought LA Knight was a top guy when he first came into the company. They had no fucking plans for LA Knight. Oh, he was U.S. champion. Yeah, bro. What title reign did he have that was so elaborate that was, he had the best U.S. title, one of the best U.S. title reigns of all time? Give me a fucking break. On a U.S. title, no offense to the U.S. championships in WWE, they're fucking meaningless. Honestly, bro, if you could compare apples to fucking oranges, you could look at the women's U.S. title and women's Intercontinental title. Who's got more showcased more? Which title has more spotlight? You can't sit here and tell me that the women's U.S. title has more spotlight than the women's Intercontinental title, bro. Look what Becky Lynch has done with that fucking title. Look what Sol Rook is doing with that title. All the matches that Becky had with Lyra Valkyria. The match that Becky had with AJ Lee at Mania for the women's Intercontinental title. Come on, bro. The women's U.S. title plays second fiddle to the women's Intercontinental title. Same thing with the men's Intercontinental title compared to the men's U.S. title. I respect the hell out of Trick Williams, bro, but that ain't no Intercontinental title. I'm sorry. Yeah, he might be Mr. Lemon Pepper Stepper. I get that. But you ain't doing shit with that belt, bro. I'm sorry. I mean, it's just the fucking truth. You're walking around with little Yachty? Come on, man. Come on. Who gives a shit, bro? Who gives a shit? I respected the U.S. title more when they had open challenges, like when Carmelo Hayes had it. Carmelo Hayes was doing a great job being U.S. champion, bro. Having those open challenges. Sami Zayn, when he had the U.S. title, did a great job carrying that U.S. title and having those open challenges. Come on, bro. The U.S. title right now can't hold a fucking candlelight to what the Intercontinental Championship's doing right now and what Penta's doing with it. Not a fucking chance in hell. Come on, man. You gotta compare apples to oranges. It's a fucking joke. It's an absolute joke. And I'm telling you right now, bro, this whole King of the Ring shit, they backed themselves into a fucking corner. 100%. You cannot convince me otherwise that they didn't. Because right now, creatively, WWE is in the goddamn shitter. I'm sorry. Oh, but you just shit on WWE. No, I'm not actually shitting just on WWE. I said the same shit about AEW. I've been saying the same shit about AEW now for the past 2 fucking years. They can't write a story to save their fucking lives. Tony Khan writes shit before the show even goes on the air the day of, and he throws it against the wall, and whatever sticks, that's what the fuck he's going with. All that money, no fucking brains at all. Guy's fucking delusional. TNA, I said the same shit about TNA. And there's fans out there that live and die by TNA. God bless you for it. God bless you for it. But you can't sit here and tell me that TNA has this whole different resurgence now since they've been with AMC. That's a crock of fucking shit. I feel like ever since they signed with AMC, TNA is going down a fucking, down the shitter, man. You can't sit here and tell me, oh yeah, since they've been with AMC, TNA's been doing great shit. Get the fuck out of here, bro. I told you guys this shit when I did my video about Carlos Silva. That this TNA had a revamp of life and a new pulse in life, if you will, when Scott D'Amore was running that goddamn company. Because Scott saw a vision with TNA. He brought back the old TNA logo. He brought back a life force for TNA. Got fans excited once again for TNA's product. Silva don't know what the fuck he's doing. And people are like, oh, well, WWE can, they can bring in TNA and they can buy the company. For what? For what? $50 million? They can wipe their ass with that. And not for nothing, I don't see TNA being a viable product right now. What's on TNA that's so intriguing right now? With all due respect. Seriously. Oh, TNA's great, bro. Ain't no fucking way. I think NXT's better than TNA right now. Hands down. Hands down. And that's supposed to be developmental talent. You guys, you have people on the TNA roster that's been wrestling for years, bro. Whether it was on the indies or on primetime television. I respect the hell out of Mike Santana. I do. I praise the hell out of Santana. But once he goes over to WWE, once his contract's up, bro, what do you got left? Mustafa Ali? Nick Nemeth? Come on, bro. Come on, man. Come on. Come on. And the proof's in the pudding. If you're comparing Carlos Silva to Scott D'Amore, look what Scott D'Amore's doing right now in Canada with Maple Leaf Pro. Come on, bro. Right now, I can tell you hands down, Maple Leaf Pro is better than TNA. And I will argue that shit to the fucking moon and back. Why? Because Scott D'Amore has a passion for professional wrestling. He's not just trying to line his fucking pockets like Carlos Silva. This guy put his house up for collateral trying to purchase TNA back, being Scott D'Amore. The guy has a love and passion not only for professional wrestling, but he at one time, and he might still have it, for TNA. And the working relationships and the friendships that he built in TNA, bro. Look what, the shit with, even though we're talking about this is Monday Night Raw podcast, I had to say this too. You look at someone like Tommy Dreamer, who was the head booker and head writer for TNA for years, who was on an interview not too long ago. I forgot who he was talking to, who the gentleman was. But he had an interview. And Tommy Dreamer put it as best way that he could, that he had a falling out with TNA. It was a divorce, if you will, that he had with TNA. And he's no longer employed with the company. And then you hear Tommy talking about TNA and what it meant to him and how he invested a lot of time of his life working with TNA and trying to build TNA into this destructible force in professional wrestling. And then you see this guy break down in tears for how much commitment and sacrifice and the friendships and the bonds that this guy built and build in TNA, the talent that he helped build up, the friendships that he made, the bonds that he made. And he could just no longer do it anymore because the writing was on the wall for him to leave TNA. I said the same shit about Tessa Blanchard. A lot of people don't like Tessa Blanchard. I'm not sitting here saying I blame you. I don't. Is she a great talent? Yeah, she's a great wrestler. I think she's a really good talent. You might not agree with her personal views. I don't really agree with her personal views either. I'm not saying what she said or what she has done has been right. I'm not saying that. But can the girl wrestle? Absolutely. They brought her back to TNA, really didn't do shit with her. She was on a 3-year contract, and then she's gone. She was granted her release and was gone out of a 3-year contract. Steve Macklin asked for his release, was granted. Sami Callihan, same thing. Asked for his release and was granted. Fabian Eichner joined on to TNA and told everybody on Twitter that he's only there for the summer. There's no long-term contracts, really, for TNA. It's almost like a pay-by-appearance deal for TNA. Why? Because Carlos Silva wants to line his pockets with cash. He's trying to streamline TNA. Good luck. I don't think TNA's worth shit. I don't. I'm sorry. You know, at one time TNA was a great company, bro, at one time. But that company, I don't know how, by the grace of God, that company survived. But through all the bullshit they went through, Dixie Carter, dumbass Jeff Jarrett trying to run the company. Jeff Jarrett's another fucking jagaloon, too. I can't stand Jarrett. I'm sorry. If you guys have been here since day one, you guys know how I feel about Jeff Jarrett. He's a fucking jagaloon. Seriously, man. Anybody taking advice from Jeff Jarrett, get the hell out of here, man. Run away. That guy don't know what the fuck he's doing. And with all due respect, he ain't his daddy. He ain't Jerry Jarrett. Jerry Jarrett ran a successful promotion back in the day. No. Jarrett damn near ran TNA into the fucking ground. I know he could point the finger at Dixie Carter all he wants, but he was a part of that deal too. He brought in, Global Force Wrestling? You guys remember that bullshit? That company went bankrupt. He didn't do shit with it because he didn't know what the fuck he was doing. Jeff Jarrett's a fucking jagaloon. Gee, don't get me started on Jarrett, bro. Jarrett's a fucking jackass. I can't stand Jeff Jarrett. And he tries so much to be like Jerry. And you're not Jerry Jarrett, buddy. I know he's your daddy, and I get that, but you are no Jerry Jarrett, sir. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I know a lot of the people like to, follow in their parents' footsteps, whether it's a wrestler or whatever business venture you want to venture into, but you're not Jerry Jarrett. Look, I respect the hell out of Cody Rhodes and Dustin Rhodes, but I'm sorry, those two boys can't hold a candle to the late great Dusty Rhodes. And I think everybody who's a professional wrestling fan at heart, whether you're a Cody Rhodes fan or a Dustin Rhodes fan at heart, I can argue this all day. Yeah, those two boys can wrestle better than almost anybody. Absolutely. But you can't sit here and tell me that Cody Rhodes and Dustin Rhodes are better than Dusty Rhodes. Ain't no fucking way. Why? Because there's only one Dusty Rhodes. I'm sorry. I feel the same thing about Jeff Jarrett and Jerry Jarrett. Both wrestled at one time. Jerry Jarrett ran his own company. Jeff Jarrett tried to run TNA, almost ran that shit into the ground. Had Global Force Wrestling, didn't do a goddamn thing with it. I think it went bankrupt, if I'm not mistaken. I'm sorry, man. I'm call it like it is. Call it like it is. If you're a Jeff Jarrett fan, yeah, I'm going to tell you right now, man, you ain't going to like being here. I can tell you that shit right now. Jeff Jarrett's a fucking joke. And I can't wait for that Dark Side of the Ring shit about TNA because that has a lot to do with... I cannot wait to see how that shit unfolds. Can't wait for it. Because Jarrett's just at fault, just as Dixie Carter was in TNA's downfall. I'm telling you that shit right now. I'm telling you that shit right now. But besides all that, I don't know, man. I went on this huge tangent, and I stand by what I said. Whether that's from Jeff Jarrett or TNA, I'm not going to change my fucking mind. What you see is what you get. Back up your bullshit. And that's what I'm doing, and that's what I have done. This decision to make Jey Uso the King of the Ring is going to be a huge fucking mistake. I'm sorry. The only way remotely I would be, for me personally, be entertained with the idea, I think a lot of other people that I've talked to in the wrestling community that would entertain the idea of, is Jey opted not to go challenge Cody Rhodes and challenge Roman Reigns for the World Heavyweight title at SummerSlam. Some people may ask, okay, well then what the hell we do with Cody Rhodes? Very good question. But remember one thing, there was one certain individual who has been on hiatus, and a lot of people have been talking about as of late, who once said before he had took his little vacation, his little hiatus, had said verbatim, you never know when an opportunity is just going to fall right into your lap. And that person is none other than CM Punk. That, to me, is a SummerSlam main event. CM Punk versus Cody Rhodes. And I will argue that shit to the goddamn moon and back. Absolutely. You want to do Brock Oba, night 1 or night 2? You can have Cody versus Punk, night 1 or night 2. Roman can be Roman versus Jey Uso for the World Heavyweight title, night 1 or night 2. And right now, bro, the way things are playing out, as of right now, I can see this happening. I can see Roman and Jey, if they decide to go that way, or at least I would like for them to go that way, Roman and Jey for the World Heavyweight title, Punk and Rhodes for the WWE title, because we all heard the speculation that Punk is going to SmackDown. Guess who else is on SmackDown? Cody Rhodes. And then Obafemi versus Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam in Minneapolis. Those 3 matches. I just got that feeling, man. I got that weird, strange feeling that Jay's going to win that King of the Ring tournament. Call me crazy. And again, I could be wrong, and if I'm wrong, I've said it before when I was wrong. I was wrong. I just got that feeling, bro, that Jey Uso is going to walk out at Night of Champions, the King of the Ring. What he does from there, I don't know. He mentioned challenging Cody Rhodes for the WWE title. But is Jey going to throw a curveball into all this shit and they say, you know what? I'm going to challenge Roman. I'm going to challenge the tribal chief. Maybe it's, you know what? I'm even going to put this out there. Just out of speculation. Just out of rumor. I'm not saying this is official, but just hear me out on this. Just a little conspiracy theory. What if Jey does win the King of the Ring tournament and he challenges Roman? Roman says, hell no. No, you're a part of the family. You're part of the bloodline. But then Jey takes a page out of Jacob Fatu's playbook. And then we get Roman versus Jey at SummerSlam for the World Heavyweight title in a tribal combat match. I'm just saying, bro. I'm not trying to throw it out. I'm not trying to, make it happen. I'm just saying it's a conspiracy theory. I'm just saying. Because we already seen Fatu do this shit. When Fatu lost at Backlash and all that shit happened, Fatu was on his way out, according to Roman and Adam Pearce. Roman even said, hey, you can do whatever the hell you want with him now. You can fire him if you want to. And then we hear Fatu in the microphone say, hey, Roman, tribal combat. Something that Roman could not refuse. Something he could not refuse in the bloodline. He could not refuse a tribal combat match with another member of the bloodline. What if Jey Uso takes a page out of Jacob Fatu's playbook, wins the King of the Ring tournament, and then challenges Roman for the World Heavyweight title in a tribal combat match at SummerSlam? I'm just saying, man. You never know with WWE. You never know. I'm just saying. Because we've already seen it done with Fatu. What's to say we won't see it with Jey? And again, there's already been frustrations with Jey, with Jacob Fatu, and there's been frustrations with the Usos with Roman. And what Roman is doing with Jacob Fatu. And Roman telling the Usos that Jacob Fatu is his right-hand man. At one time, you got to remember that Jey was Roman's right-hand man. Maybe Jey Uso feels some kind of way about this. Maybe he's kind of pissed off. We all seen Jey Uso at the past couple of weeks. He's been this loose cannon, especially with LA Knight. What if Jey Uso flips the script and challenges Roman at SummerSlam in a tribal combat match for the World Heavyweight title? I mean, to me, if Jey's going to win the tournament, that's the only thing that's going to make me excited for Jey winning the King of the Ring tournament, is if he challenges Roman Reigns for the World Heavyweight title. I give a rat's ass about Jey versus Cody Rhodes. I'm sorry. Absolutely not. No. I think that's a complete lazy-ass bullshit booking. In my honest opinion. I think we need to see Jey versus Roman. And the way things, like I said, bro, the way things are playing out, would I be shocked? No. Honestly, I would laugh about it because I'll come back on here on this podcast and tell you guys, man, I must be the next Mrs. Cleo, or Mr. Cleo, I'm sorry. I must be one of the best mind readers of all fucking time, because at that point I'd be like, dude, at that point I'd be shocked by nothing. I'd be a goddamn mind reader. Instead of Mrs. Cleo, it'd be Mr. Cleo. Taking phone calls and shit and predicting people's fucking future. That's pretty much what it would be at this fucking point. You know what I mean? Like, nothing with WWE anymore I'd be shocked by, man. Nothing. especially with the lack of story, the lack of intrigue. Yeah, you need something. You got the biggest show of the summer. SummerSlam is one of WWE's big 4 pay-per-views of the year. SummerSlam, Survivor Series, Royal Rumble, and WrestleMania. And SummerSlam's 2 nights in Minneapolis, Minnesota. You need something that's going to not only bring intrigue, but interest from the fans to want to watch SummerSlam in Minneapolis, Minnesota. You need something. You can't just go in there with Obafemi and Brock Lesnar, bro. You can't just go in there with Jay taking on Cody Rhodes. Because I'm going to tell you right now, that's a fucking mistake. No one's going to give a shit about SummerSlam. And it's 2 nights. You need something that's going to facilitate a 2-night PLE. Which we all know combined is probably going to be, what, 12 matches in total? You need something, bro. I said the same shit about going into this weekend at Night of Champions. You got the 2 most highly anticipated matches going into Night of the Champions on Saturday. And you're telling me now that those 2 matches that everybody's anticipating, everybody's excited about, those 2 matches are kicking off Night of Champions and being free for the first hour on ESPN. Meanwhile, you have Trick Williams defending the U.S. title for the men, and you got Tiffany Stratton defending her U.S. title against Jade Cargill. Why can't those 2 matches kick off Night of Champions? Why? Because I'm going to be honest, bro, with all due respect to Trick Williams and Tiffany Stratton and all that, I don't think anybody really gives a rat's ass about either one of those U.S. titles. I'm going to keep it a buck. No one gives a shit. But no, the 2 most highly anticipated matches, we're going to put those on the first hour for free. So we're going to get Tiffany Stratton, and people are going to have to pay $30, or if not some change, to watch Stratton and Jay Cargill and Trick Williams in action. Come on, bro. I do not believe that $30 is worth watching Tiffany Stratton versus Jay Cargill. I can tell you that shit right now. It's not worth it. We all saw what happened to Jade on SmackDown with the wardrobe malfunction. She lost her wig or some shit like that. Come on, man. That's the reason why she has a hard time in the ring. No, the reason why she has a hard time in the ring is because Jade Cargill cannot wrestle. I'm sorry. And I ain't going to take back what I said either. Jade reminds me of Ahmed Johnson. Or an earlier Sid Vicious when WWE was pushing Sid or Sid Justice back in the day. Or Goldberg. Come on, man. Come on. It's a fucking joke, folks. It's just, oh my God, man. Bro. Jesus Christ. You know, it's just, I don't know, ladies and gentlemen. I really don't. You know, but on this podcast, what you see is what you get. You want realism. You don't want someone beating around the bush and, you know, trying to, you know, get in the good graces of Mr. Triple H or Tony Khan or Mr. Carlos Silva. That ain't me. And that's not this podcast. What you see is what you get. I'm going to call out the bullshit, man, because not for nothing, people are getting away with too much shit. I'm sorry. Way too much shit. Oh, the show was good, and, you know, hopefully they'll bring me into the crowd and I can get free tickets or something, or take pictures backstage with the superstars. You'll have so many people in this community kissing ass to get in the good graces of Triple H or Carlos Silva for TNA or Tony Khan just so they can be shown on AEW television or being backstage with the crowd and the fans. Oh, come on, bro. Come on, man. Have a little self-respect, a little self-dignity, if you will. Stop trying to be a kiss-ass and be something that you're not. You know what I mean? Have a little self-respect, a little decorum, if you will. I mean, Jesus Christ, man. Have some self-dignity. Be yourself, man. I hate when people try to be something that they're not. I can't stand that shit. I cannot stand it. Well, I figured I'm going to try this and get in the good graces of, you know, maybe I can share a couple White Claws with Tony Khan. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck... Yeah, you want to share a White Claw with him? Why don't you tell him how to write a fucking show? How about that? Y'all can share a White Claw over that bullshit. Jesus Christ. I mean, oh my God, bro. Oh, man. And then with WWE, bro, it's honestly pro-corporate. I hate to break it to fans of WWE. I'm a fan myself. I'm a fan of professional wrestling in general. But it is so corporate nowadays, man, and so commercialized anymore, it's unreal. And if you can't see that, man, I don't know what to tell you. From the celebrity appearances and the Zuffa boxing shit and the celebrities in the crowd and all this other bullshit, and it's just all the goddamn commercials. I mean, holy shit, man. I don't know, man. I really don't. And hell, there's some people out here that still want Vince McMahon to come back to WWE. You lost your fucking mind. You lost your mind. Jeez, Christ. Like, what was it, Teddy Long? Oh, I'll come back to WWE if Vince comes back. Get the fuck out of here, dude. Jesus Christ. Jeez, man. No. Absolutely fucking not. I mean, Christ, bro, right now on paper, the best company that's getting run right now is AAA, which is fucking crazy. I even said this when I did my Carlos Silva video, that I know TNA has their TV rights deal with AMC. I would give that TV rights deal to AAA and what they're doing right now. Jesus Christ, man. El Grande Americano alone is like a god down there for AAA. Angel Garza and Berto, they made their the return on Saturday in a new stable. The crowd went crazy. An old stable from AAA that had a resurgence showed up on Saturday. Come on, bro. I mean, hell, AAA, I talked to people in the community that said that AAA has a lot of vibes to the old NXT Black and Gold brand. It's hard to argue against it. I think what Ray's doing down there, I think what Taker's doing right now, being the head booker, man, he's on to something down there with AAA. Absolutely. Hell, man, look at that mass versus mass match between El Grande Americano and OG Americano. Man, that match will go down in AAA history with the amount of storyline that was there. And the fact that you have a guy in Ludwig Kaiser that turned chicken shit into chicken salad, man, and it paid off for this guy tenfold. That guy is a legend in Mexico, bro. If I was him, I would never even wrestle anywhere else ever again besides AAA. You made a name for yourself. You made a career for yourself alone, bro, in AAA. And God bless him for it. God bless him for it. That right there, folks, is the pure definition of taking chicken shit into chicken salad. Because at one time, Kaiser was just a gimmick of the original El Grande Americano, man. He took that shit and he ran with it and he turned chicken shit into chicken salad, man. That guy, shit. Come on, bro. And the fans down there love him to death, man. When he had that match with OG Americano, man, he was walking in the streets of Mexico with thousands of fans. Singing with them. They're all taking pictures with him. They were serenading him in the audience. He was breaking down in tears. I mean, and the fans gravitated towards that because they felt that. I can't say the same shit on Monday Night Raw and SmackDown, bro, or even AEW or TNA for that matter. Honestly, man, what's so captivating, honestly, as a fan? I'm asking this as a legitimate question. If you watch this podcast, I want you to ask yourself this. When it pertains to Raw and SmackDown and AEW and hell, even TNA, what has captivated you alone as a fan, let's say in the past year, that captivated you enough to be like, man, holy shit, that was a great moment. I'll never forget that. Because the only thing in my head right now would be the mass versus mass match in AAA. In the past 6 months to a year, what, as a fan, what has captivated you enough to be like, man, holy shit, that was a moment. That was a moment. I'm talking whether it's Raw, SmackDown, TNA, or AEW. Out of those companies or those brands, in the past 6 months to a year, what has captivated you as a fan alone to say, you know what, man, damn, that was a moment. That was something I'll never forget. And to me, as a fan, the thing that I'll never forget is that mass versus mass match between OG Americano and El Grande Americano. That was a fucking match. The storytelling alone, the intrigue in the match, how the fans were torn between both OG Americano and El Grande Americano, the story that both these individuals told during that match, the fact that Chad Gable revealed himself, taking the mask off and revealing himself as Chad Gable having his family in the ring with him when he's, whole face is covered in blood. He's emotional. He's crying. El Grande Americano is crying. He's emotional. The fans are emotional. Come on, bro. That right there is storytelling. Storytelling. I mean, Christ, bro, you want to go back? Let's look at John Cena's retirement tour when John Cena had that match with AJ Styles. That was poetry in motion right there. What John did for Styles and how he hyped up Styles, saying the original member of the Bullet Club, all these accolades that AJ Styles have had. That was a love letter to professional wrestling right there between John Cena and AJ Styles. Respect that both these gentlemen had for each other in that moment, in that ring, for both their respective careers. Like I said, man, again, in the past 6 months to a year, out of all these companies, what captivated you the most? Or have you been captivated at all in the past 6 months to a year? It's not just WWE that I'm shitting on, bro. It's across the board. Raw, SmackDown, Dynamite, Collision, TNA. I mean, Jesus Christ, bro. I wonder what Billy Corgan and NWA Power's been doing as of late. On Comet TV. I mean, come on, man. Come on. Jesus Christ. It's just a fucking joke, man. It really is a joke. And shit needs to change. And I can't tell you right now how bad WWE as a whole right now, whether it's Raw or SmackDown, needs CM Punk back. They need him back desperately right now. And supposedly he's supposed to come back next month in July. Thank God. Because they need him back. They need CM Punk back. They need the interest. They need the intrigue. They need something. And that's CM Punk. I can't tell you how bad they need that guy back. Jesus Christ, man. Holy shit. They need something. They need something. I'm going to tell you all right now, man. This weekend, this Saturday, Night of Champions is going to be very interesting and very telling to see the direction of where WWE goes. Whether it's going to be the ruler, Obafemi, or the Yeet man himself, Jey Uso, bro. It's going to be very telling to see how things play out at Night of Champions. But with that being said, though, this is my review of Monday Night Raw. I hope you guys are out there staying safe. Be careful, and remember, stay classic. Peace.